We dropped this 78 Ford pickup straight down in a free fall to show you how tough it's built. And one of the reasons it's so tough is Ford's twin I-beam suspension.
This is the history of the Ford F-150.
And for 78, there's a tilt steering wheel, spacious, comfortable lariat cab, and other new options like integral CB radio. Yes, get new comfort in a car-like ride in one tough truck.
The Ford F-150 trucks were introduced to the United States in 1948, and they were known as the Ford Bonus Built trucks. They were built on a dedicated truck platform, unlike earlier versions that were built from car chassis during the war. Ford's very first truck was built in 1917, and it was based off the Model T and named the Ford Model TT.
Yes, our Ford F3 Express is the general handyman on this ranch. Even with loads up to 1,400 pounds, it's mighty easy on gas.
The first generation F-Series trucks carried the designations of F1 through F8. They were rated by weight as panel trucks, conventional trucks, school buses, cab over engine, and of course the pickup truck. The second generation was between 1953 and 1956. It brought about a complete redesign for the F-Series. They received new engines, updated chassis, roomier interior and exteriors, options such as a radio, dome light, armrests, and lighter, and the series also underwent an important name change. It was during this period that the F1 became the F100, and the F2 and F3 merged to become the F250, and the F4 became the F350. A special F100 was designed as a one-year-only body style in 1956 and featured a wraparound windshield instead of a sloped one, and it offered vertical windshield pillars.
Go forward with power. Power in all four wheels. Ford's new four-wheel drive pickups give you traction enough for a 6-foot ditch or a 60% grade.
The third generation was between 1957 and 1960. The third generation brought about a new modernized body style where the front fenders became a part of the truck's body and the hood was integrated into the bodywork to create a clamshell design that would remain a prominent feature of the truck for the next 20 years. As another milestone for Ford, they began production of four-wheel drive pickups in 1959.
Roomy comfort, you're ahead in a Ford pickup especially designed for campers. Ford's twin I-beam suspension provides the world's smoothest pickup ride. Engines are powerful, and Ford's camper specials have extra strength for handling camper bodies.
The fourth generation was produced between 1961 and 1966. Once again, a new style emerged and the new look was noticeably different. In 1965, the twin I-beam front suspension changed everything, and it remained a part of the F-150 up to 1996. An F-Series four-door crew cab model emerged in 1965 to compete with passenger cars, and the 300 cubic inch 4.9-liter straight six was introduced, and it remained in the F-Series trucks until 1996. In 1965, Ford introduced the name Ranger to its lineup. It was previously a base model of the Edsel, and in keeping with the Edsel tradition, this too was said to be a little ahead of its time for 1965.
Some trucks are good for only one thing, rough work. But you take a 67 Ford pickup, you're proud to take it anywhere. It's ready for anything, work or pleasure.
The fifth generation lasted between 1967 and 1972. The cab was roomier by 3 inches than that of the competitors, and the truck came with a heavier frame. New safety features were added to the exterior to include reflectors to the rear of the truck bed. This was the first generation to offer factory-installed air conditioning as opposed to dealer installation. Remember the era of the camper? It is probably safe to say that we all know someone who had a camper attached to the bed of their pickup truck back in the day. And it is probably safe to say that there are numerous stories that will be passed down from generation to generation about how great they were and all the wonderful experiences that were involved. The sixth generation would be the one that changed truck history forever. This is between 1973 and 1979. Significant changes and upgrades were given to the series that included larger cabins, front disc brakes, a relocated gas tank outside the cab, improved heating and air, and more galvanized steel. Also during this time, the four-wheel drive Super Cab made its debut. In 1975, the Ford F-150 was introduced and has since gone to become the best-selling truck ever. Now that's grounds for bragging rights.
Announcing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford. It's aerodynamically designed, so it's more slippery than last year, has less drag, with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built pickup.
The seventh generation occurred between 1980 and 1986. This generation received the first complete redesign since 1965 from the ground up. Improved aerodynamics and fuel economy, and both interior and exterior modifications were made. 1985 saw the first year of electronic fuel injection for the 5.0-liter V8. In 1986, the F-150 no longer offered 3-on-3 manual shifting. This generation was the first to include upscale amenities such as power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, interval windshield wipers, tinted windshield, locking gas cap, inside locking hood release, and so many other options and standards were available during this new, technologically charged generation. The eighth generation was between 1987 and 1991. In the first year of this generation, better aerodynamics included a rounded front clip and softer lines around fender arches and the rear bed, and it sported an all-new interior. The first 5-speed manual overdrive transmission was introduced in 1987, and 4 speeds were discontinued. In 1989, the F-Series had been established as being the nation's best-selling vehicle.
History repeats itself. For the 17th year in a row, Ford F-Series is the #1 selling truck in America. Why? Maybe it's because of its dedication to safety with a driver's side airbag standard.
The ninth generation was between 1992 and 1996. The flare side bed was reintroduced since its retirement in 1987 as an option, and a lower hood line, more advanced aerodynamics, newly designed fenders, and grille changes and interior upgrades were notable. The 1994 models offered an updated dashboard with the addition of a driver's side airbag in the F-150. The 10th generation occurred between 1997 and 2003. This is where Ford made some major changes to its F-Series and was basically split into 2 categories. The F-150 became a contemporary personal use truck, while the F-250 and the F-350 became classified as working class trucks. The 11th generation was between 2004 and 2008. The F-150 received an all-new platform in 2004. Also in this generation, all F-150s were given 4 doors, regardless of their cab type. The Triton engine was also introduced in this year. A navigation system became available for the first time as an option in 2006 on some models. The 12th generation F-Series was produced between 2009 and 2014. Beginning with 2009, there were many new upgrades to the interior, and the exterior featured a new 3-bar grille. A V8 engine was standard on all F-Series models for the first time in history. In early 2011, a 3.5-liter direct injected twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 was offered in the F-150. The 13th generation ran from 2015 to 2020. Another Ford first was accomplished with the 2015 F-150 model, when it became the very first pickup to receive adaptive cruise control. The Ford F-150 also underwent a radical change in 2015 by dropping 750 pounds by switching from a steel body to that of all aluminum. This was quite an accomplishment, considering nothing looked physically changed. However, the bulk of the frame remains high-strength steel. We are now at the 14th generation. 2021. The best-selling vehicle in the U.S. is familiar in style, but has a fresh face in the 2021 Ford F-150. Well, there you have it, the history of the Ford F-150. Which F-150 is your favorite? We'd like to know. Leave your comments below. If you like this video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell. Again, thanks for watching.